Birmingham area today as torrential rain brought flooding conditions. We're on your side with when we could see the rain taper off and just how much we got on those flooded roads.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And how about these photos sent in from Tyrone Rudolph of the flooding in the Brighton area earlier this morning. And Tania and Lauren joining us again here for First Alert Weather Extra. Lauren, you were tracking some of this rain earlier today. It just adds up quickly, especially we set a record in Birmingham yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this has been some torrential rain we've been seeing. And if you're sitting at home, everything's quiet. You can take a little nap. It's fine. The problem is if you get out on the roads, it can certainly cause some issues.
Yes, some nice little breaks out there right now as well.
Oh, yeah. But this is exactly why, Wes, we always tell everyone, turn around, don't drown. You do not want to be driving through those flooded roadways. But as of right now, we're seeing some major breaks. So that's some good news for us right across central Alabama.
It is. I was noticing, we go to our camera right now in Centerville. We had some light rain moving in again. It was just very light showers. Well, there you go. You can see a couple of raindrops on the camera. And there's still some leftover showers out there, but nowhere as intense as what we saw earlier today. Let's take you over to AccuTrack radar and satellite, and one location where we need to watch out for some of that rain here in the short term. You can see how we have this band of showers now moving into Jefferson and Shelby counties. We have that wave of rain that's exiting East Alabama, but I want to point something out. Notice how we see some indications of some more showers just popping up. We're in a very moist southwest flow aloft, and what that's doing is keeping things unsettled, not just daytime, but nighttime. So even out the door tonight, there could be some scattered showers, but short term, you can see where the rain is currently located. And you can see temperatures also in the 70s out there. You look out the window, and for a lot of us to know, it looks like the bottom's about to fall out. We have a lot of clouds, but where we do have that rain, and again, this is light stuff here as we can tell on First Alert AccuTrack, parts of Tuscaloosa County down towards Centerville, but this is moving to the east, so if it does hold together, you still might run into some rain here. Places like Alabaster, Calera, down towards Jemison, and also around the Birmingham area. Places like Gardendale, some of those light showers there moving back into the area. Forecast radar shows us moving to the east. What manages to hold together next couple of hours across mostly Shelby, Chilton, and Jefferson counties. But back to the west, we're seeing possibility of some isolated showers developing. But here's what you need to know for the areas where we don't have rain right now. It's actually going to feel nice this evening with temperatures in the 70s. It's extremely humid, and that's going to be a factor through tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. Well, let's talk about the Weather Extra rundown and some key questions here over the next 24 hours. Will it be raining tomorrow morning when you step outside? Could be some isolated showers. I'm not seeing an early morning washout, but check in with Mickey. There might be some rain early in the day. Will we see more storms tomorrow? Certainly a possibility by midday and into the afternoon as those temperatures rise into the 80s. And will my weekend be a washout? Well, there will be scattered afternoon storms for Saturday and Sunday, but not a total washout. There will be some breaks, and we'll talk more about your weekend full 7-day forecast right here on Weather Extra.
Well, that heavy rain across central Alabama today caused flooding for some of us. This is what it looked like on Messer Airport Highway this afternoon as some drivers dealt with water along the roads. As heavy rain moved through the area, it also called for water rescues for stranded cars along Caraway Boulevard. And some areas are still waterlogged after the lunchtime flooding here in Birmingham. Our Taylor Pollock joins us live now from Messer Road Highway with an update. Taylor, have you seen any improvement out there since earlier today?
Absolutely, Lauren. Substantial improvement in this area. However, it is still flooded. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there is still some substantial flooding, but we saw earlier. And yes, I am by that truck that we have shown that video of. It is not as underwater as much, but it still is in just a little bit of water. By the way, we're on Messer Road just between 31st and 33rd Street, and it is still barricaded off. So if you're traveling in this area, you are going to still need to find a detour. Again, that water has subsided, but this is an area that commonly sees flooding. And I think Tania said it best a minute ago. It is a great reminder of the best practice to just turn around and not drown. Reporting in Birmingham, Taylor Pollock, WBRC Fox 6 News on your side.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, out across the U.S. in the Rockies, wildfire smoke has been making for a hazy and smoky sky across Colorado, with the air quality in Denver topping out as the worst in the entire United States yesterday. As of 6:30 this morning, the AQI, or air quality index, was between 100 and 150, making it unhealthy for sensitive groups. The rates of particulate matter, meaning smoke, dust, and soot, nearly 7 times higher than levels that are considered safe by the EPA. NOAA meteorologist Bruno Rodriguez explains why high ozone levels also contributed to the hazardous air quality alerts.
Ozone really is a gas. It stems from the reaction of air pollutants near the ground with sunlight. So typically when we have persistent high pressure, near surface ozone concentrations tend to increase.
And state health and air quality officials also issuing a multiple pollutant action day alert that lasted through 4 p.m. today. Well, now that's over with in the Denver area, but I just wanted to give you a look at exactly what that smoke looks like. Those smoke plumes are coming in from the Pacific Northwest and up into Canada. And so you'll notice where the yellow is showing up here, that's higher concentrations of smoke. And you can see there's a ridge out west. So on the north side of that, you see air is flowing to the south. And that's why we've been seeing a lot of thick smoke getting down into the Rockies. And now you can see it's in part of the northern Great Plains, getting into parts of the Dakotas and down into Nebraska. Even some of that now getting as far east as Minnesota, Iowa, even into Missouri. You can see some of that just circulating south of the Great Lakes. So even with Canada over in the Northwest being so far away, there's still going to be that potential over the next 24 hours where you see the yellow here. You see improving conditions across parts of Denver and into parts of the Rockies, but you see that axis, that smoke shifts farther to the east, and that is thanks to that upper level circulation in the atmosphere around that ridge. Air moves clockwise around that, so it shifts southward. Not going to be an issue for us, still a very wet pattern in place for us, Tania.
And Lauren, all of that poor air quality for parts of our nation is occurring as well as recorded temperatures. The hottest day recorded on Earth was Monday. The previous record only lasting 24 hours set on Sunday. Temperatures were hotter by 0.11 degrees Fahrenheit. Before this week, the record hadn't been broken since July 2023. And since 2023, the Earth has exceeded that threshold 57 times. As we continue to be out in the summer heat, kids can often pay the price for sun-soaked activities. That's why experts share some tips to make sure their hair stays protected during the heat. Experts say when it comes to keeping your child's hair healthy this summer, hydration is key. As the same way the sun can damage your child's skin, it can damage their hair too. Add to that chlorine from swimming pools, salt water, and sweat. Your child's hair can end up dry and even brittle. Another potential problem that we all want to avoid, head lice. As for ways to treat these issues,
you want to make sure they're doing the hydration treatment every week.
One of the best methods for many kids is combing out lice from wet hair, as long as your child's hair can tolerate that. If not, prescription topical Spinosad is effective, as is over-the-counter topical ivermectin.
And stylists also recommend getting your child's hair trimmed to keep it smooth and free of knots. Brushing helps too. If they have curly or textured hair, they can say a silk or satin pillowcase may even help retain some of its moisture. Love my bonnet. But here's a look at that frizzometer, because listen, not only are we dealing with the heat in some areas across the nation, for us, we're a lot cooler, at least warm, but we're still very wet and muggy. So a first look for very frizzy hair conditions as we look at our hair cast. And I say your best interest is to find a cute little updo. I don't know how me and Lauren are making it with these down hairstyles, but we're trying our best. So hopefully it looks good. Don't go anywhere. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll have a checkup on our radar, plus more stories right here about weather across the world in just 30 seconds.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Lenahan. Just want to give you a quick check on First Alert AccuTrack. Since lunchtime today, we've really been seeing rain coverage deteriorating. You can just see a couple of little sprinkles stretching from western Jefferson County near Bessemer down towards Centerville and Marion. And then we still have a little bit of light to moderate rainfall near Heflin, stretching down towards Randolph County. But that is all lifting to the north and east into Georgia. And as Tadia was mentioning, yeah, it may be muggy outside, but hey, doesn't feel too bad. I mean, 70s right now, and it's a July day. We'll take it. This wet weather and cloudy weather really looking out for us. But why are we stuck in this wet pattern? It's all because of a trough in the atmosphere. That's in the mid-upper levels, and it's this dip in the jet stream. And what it allows is this deep southwesterly flow and lift. If you've got southwest flow in the atmosphere, where is the air coming from? The Gulf of Mexico. That's where that deep moisture is. So as we see that southwest flow continually pumping into Alabama, that's what's accounting for that heavy rain and flooding threat. But if you think it's wet here, we want to take you around the world now to Taiwan, where they're experiencing intense conditions after the landfall of Typhoon Kemi. Meteorologist Matt Daniel explains more.
Well, you see this system right behind me. It's obviously nowhere near us. This is out in the northwestern Pacific. This is Typhoon Kemi, and this storm has been impacting Taiwan over the past 24 hours with lots of wind and rain. But you might be asking yourself, what exactly is a typhoon? Well, a typhoon is simply a hurricane, but they call them typhoons in the northwestern Pacific Ocean. Once again, they're both considered tropical cyclones. So a hurricane's a tropical cyclone and a typhoon is a tropical cyclone, and they all get their energy from those warm ocean waters, either in the Atlantic or in the Pacific. And you may have heard the term super typhoon, and you've heard us say major hurricane. Well, for us, a major hurricane in the Atlantic is a Category 3 or greater with winds greater than 110. Well, a super typhoon is almost a Category 5. It has winds up to 150 or higher. And some of the storms, typhoons, are some of the most powerful storms on the planet. And we can see winds with typhoons over 200 miles per hour. So sometimes typhoons are typically a little bit larger and stronger than the systems that we see in the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, we name them differently based off where you're located. So here in the Atlantic, we call them hurricanes. In the Eastern Pacific and in the Central Pacific towards Hawaii, we call them hurricanes as well. And this is where we start changing the names up a bit. As you go in the Pacific, of course, typhoons, and they're called cyclones as you go in the Indian Ocean and for parts of the Australia area into New Zealand. So that's how they're called. But I want to show you this radar loop of typhoon, just showing you how incredible it is. In fact, I want to show you some actual video from Taiwan showing the powerful wind and rain impacting the area. You can see some video of people out on the streets getting hammered by the wind, almost getting blown down because of those strong wind gusts. These winds were almost at 150 miles per hour as that outer rain bands were impacting parts of Taiwan. And that is where they were having a lot of issues and lots of rain as well. This is a mountainous terrain. And when you have mountains, you can get a lot of lift and a lot of heavy rainfall. And so flooding is a big concern. I've already saw reports of 1 to 2 feet of rain has already fallen, and this storm has been a slow goer. So some pretty incredible images there with some rough surf as well with increased storm surge. But I want to show you this radar loop. This is a video that was produced and from that area, and also Brian McNulty posting this on his website. But what is fascinating about this satellite, you see the storm really getting its act together, well-defined eye, and as it's getting closer to Taiwan, look how it sort of moves farther to the south and sort of just curves around and then eventually hits the area. So very unusual to see this particular motion of a tropical system get going close to it, then moving sideways or down to the south, and then moving right back up. And a lot of this is probably due to the terrain of that area. So very fascinating, but yeah, this storm is producing lots of wind across the area. So here's the forecast if you're just wondering. It will be weakening and impacting parts of China over the next couple of days. And sometimes the energy of these typhoons can get absorbed into the jet stream, and that can actually create different ripples effects with the jet stream and how our weather works around here in North America. Sometimes it can help energize it and produce cold fronts as well. So that's just a little outside of our area, but just giving you an example of what typhoons are and how they impact others.
Great information there, Matt. Coming up next on First Alert Weather Extra, we talk more about that flooding risk as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. And meteorologist Tania Michelle takes you beyond the 7-day to let you know if any summer heat or maybe the tropics are going to creep their way back into our forecasts. We'll be right back.
And welcome into Weather Extra, a live look from Bluff Park Diner. Look at that sky out there. Some mean looking clouds this evening, and you're going to see this in a lot of areas, but we're not seeing any widespread storms at this time. We're still seeing the clouds, which are actually keeping those temperatures in the 70s, and we had some showers, and actually what we were seeing was some of that light rain pushing in towards Birmingham and Shelby County. Even that's falling apart. So it's just some pockets of very, very light scattered showers. A lot of us enjoying some nice breaks here through the evening, and the temperatures actually trying to recover. And some spots there showing 79 in Birmingham. But what's left of some of this light rain still next couple hours could push across Shelby County. That's forecast radar next couple of hours. But as Lauren was noting earlier, we're still dealing with that very moist southwest flow aloft, and it's keeping us cloudy. We've got the muggy air around, and in a pattern like this, even overnight, we could have some rain around. So as we look at the data, as no surprise, tonight the model suggesting that we might see a couple of showers out there as late as 10 p.m. as you can see. And as we take it on into the day Thursday, we'll start out maybe a few isolated storms and showers around early on. So in the morning, kind of like today, that's still your best bet for some breaks in the wet weather mid-late morning. But as we heat up, the scattered storms will develop. And this is some of the new high-resolution model data really favoring as far as coverage. Notice there's lunchtime. We take it into the afternoon Thursday, really favoring these northern areas. But if that happens, that just means we heat up to the south. We've got the moisture, we've got the instability. There will be some scattered storms. In fact, you can see how down towards Tuscaloosa, some of this data is showing even some of those pop-ups. So where we get those storms, that's going to be our greatest concern, of course, with those higher rainfall rates, a risk for localized flooding. These higher rain chances will go into Friday, actually backing off a little bit Friday, especially by the evening. So if you have tickets to the concert at Oak Mountain, Hootie and the Blowfish coming up Friday night, just letting you know, thinking ahead here for those weekend plans of rain chances at this point look to improve there during the evening. Saturday, we have the farmers market in Tuscaloosa. Also looks like a better chance for some breaks during the morning. Maybe you want to mow the lawn there Saturday. Try to get out there before lunchtime because some afternoon storms will be possible. You can see a City Walk Art Market in Birmingham on Saturday. The rain chance by 7 p.m. you can see showing 40%. So this later in the day on Saturday, those rain chances will start to go up again on Saturday. So there's the first alert, 7-day forecast. And hey, it's not just through the weekend. Look at next week, Monday and Tuesday. We're still holding on to those higher rain chances. And as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle, we were taking a look at some of the data next week. And Tania, we've been watching this upper level ridge, and when that takes over, we go hotter, lower rain chances. But now it looks like that may not be the case as we go into next week.
Yeah, listen, Wes, those rain chances could be backing off as we head into your weekend, but they don't stay away for very long. So we're still looking at a good chance for rain throughout next week. As of right now, I'm not seeing a washout, but looking at our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook across the entire nation, many areas going to be dealing with below average rainfall from Denver, Colorado to parts of Texas, above average rainfall for the Pacific Northwest. But here across central Alabama, most states more near average. So yes, we'll see some wet weather around. The good news is not seeing a washout, but we need to pay attention to our far eastern counties. They're expected to have more of those above average rainfall chances, so more potential flooding concerns in the days ahead can't be completely ruled out. Looking 6 to 10 days out, July 30th through August 3rd, across most of the nation, more above average temperatures. So the heat could be coming back for us very, very soon. Are you ready? I don't know if you are, but whether you are or not, it may be here before you know it. We're still enjoying these summer months. But don't go anywhere, because right after the break, Mickey has a forecast for your travel plans. He'll let you know what you can expect. We'll be right back.
Well, as of this morning, check out the Gulf beaches. This was live at about 10:07 this morning, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They've cleaned off all the beaches. We're kind of in between crowds here, and it's looking nice. As far as the rip current forecast, it's just a moderate risk. They're flying yellow flags, and they typically, even in a low risk, are at least going to fly yellow flags down at the Alabama Gulf Coast. Well, as of this morning, check out the Gulf beaches. This was live at about 10:07 this morning, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They've cleaned off all the beaches. We're kind of in between crowds here, and it's looking nice. As far as the rip current forecast, it's just a moderate risk. They're flying current all the way through the early part of the weekend. And as far as shower activity goes, they're getting a few scattered showers down there at the Gulf beaches. Our rain chances there are actually pretty close to what we're seeing here at home. We're going to go with about a 60% chance of rainfall going into tomorrow, and then we see a 40 to 50% chance for Friday going into the weekend as well. Based on that forecast, I'd still plan on going to the beach because there's a lot of breaks in that. It's not going to be a steady rain, so we could see on again, off again showers, and besides, when you get to the beach, you tend to get sunburned anyway, so in between the showers, you can get plenty of sun, hopefully, and enjoy your trip. About a 50% chance of rain going into Tuesday of next week as well. Now, if the beach isn't your cup of tea and you want to go a little further to the north, well, we have your Smoky Mountain forecast, and we're still in that soupy wet weather pattern all across the southeastern United States. So there's no relief really from the rain, whether you're going to the Gulf Coast, sticking around home, or headed to the Smoky Mountains, because we're looking at a decent chance of rain there. In fact, it might be a little higher at the mountains than it is here at home. We're into the mid-80s, though, as far as temperatures go for Friday going into Saturday, Sunday. We start to warm up to the upper 80s. And then low 90s going into next week. But you can see that's a pretty soupy air mass. Now, whether you're going, regardless of where you're going, you can take your First Alert weather app with you. It's a free download, and check out the latest of what is happening in your neck of the woods. You can check out radar as well, or maybe snap a picture that we can share right here on Weather Extra.
All right, Lauren, today I think soupy is an understatement, but we're going to be tracking more showers and storms, more updates tonight, first at 9.
Good job, y'all.